And I just have to say, I might have to leave early today, just as you know.
Okay, no problem, no problem. And it's okay. We have these 2 hours. If we finish previously, it depends of the flow of your questions and your doubts and the session. I always think that we are going to finish earlier, but the truth is that is until the dead minute. And in the previous group, they didn't want to go out, and I said, "Come on, I have another one. Leave me for the second group, please," because we are arriving to the end. And I put the hand like this because there's no end on Jungian coaching. It's an ongoing process, but they are already craving for the mentoring even before we finish. So let's start. And today I will invite you to start telling a number 1 to 10 about your energy of the present moment, like how energized are you 1 to 10, and then sharing a metaphor or a symbol that represents how are you feeling. And I will say I'm a 9. I will start. I'm a 9, and I'm feeling like a candle. Like a candle. Yeah. And I rolled the ball to Eshe. That was the first coming today.
Okay, my motivation is like 7, I would say, because I had a very bad sleep and I shouted at my children in the morning. I feel very guilty. She didn't let me sleep since 4 o'clock. And so I don't feel very good because of that I shout my kids in the morning. And also yesterday, I let a man dominate me at work. That's why I'm angry to myself. So I'm not having my best day today. Yeah.
And your metaphor or symbol is?
My metaphor is like wounded animal.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think my energy level is 6. I just woke up, and then I feel like you know how a car that's so difficult to start. It's like it's just trying to start itself.
So you're
that's how I
starting
feel.
the engine. You're starting the engine.
Hopefully later it's going to be a jet plane. I still have a 10 o'clock class with Mod 2 later this weekend also. Will you be there?
I will not be there this weekend. I need a rest. I need a break. I was looking to my agenda. I was thinking, where the hell are my weekends? I don't have weekends. My weekends are Jungian coaching, so I decide not to be. Even if Avi already texts me, "Are you coming?" I didn't answer. I ignore him.
Okay.
Anna Sebria. How can I say your name? Sebriana? Sebriana? Okay.
The second syllable is under stress.
Okay, Sebriana.
I'm feeling like 7, I guess, because I'm looking forward to starting the weekend already, and I really want some activities, and there is Purim time in Israel, and people are wearing costumes, and it's really nice, and I'm looking forward to finish it and also dress up to my costume and meet with friends. I think I'm feeling like I'm looking at this pack of M&Ms now, and I'm going to use it as a metaphor because there is a mix of feelings in me right now, like from different places, and I don't know which color would come up when I put a hand into the pack.
So you are kind of unexpected. Good. Dear Shannon, good morning.
Good morning. I'm with Cynthia. I'm a little tired, so I would say energetically, I'm probably at a 6 or a 7. I'm excited to start my day, but I'm still waking up. And I just have this, I have this vision of like a little fox all curled up in his den, because really, if I could do anything right now, I'd probably go back to bed for a few more hours.
Thank you for being here. The other Anna.
Yes.
Burman.
Yes, that's me. No, I think my energy level today is like 5 or 6. I've been having a very like my week has been like a tumble dryer of processes. And I feel like I'm like muddy water. Like it can be like crystal clear, but there's some mud in there as well. So like I think I want like clarity because it's a lot of things going on.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. And the last but not the least, Marta Katavik.
Like my soul is a 10, and ever since the sun is out and since I started painting again more, I'm really like full.
I'm with you.
Yes,
Painting.
my body is a little bit lower than that because I've been like doing a lot of things lately. So I would say my body is at 5 or 6. But if we like get into the middle, it would be a nice 8, I would say. And
Perfect.
yes, and I think a symbol would be something that I dreamt of today. It's a little wooden boat.
Wind boat. Beautiful.
Wooden,
Oh,
like a small, I don't know what's the
wooden.
name, like a small ark or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like a canoe? No.
yeah, something like that.
Interesting. We could explore that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I already went to check a little bit. I didn't have much time to see a lot about it, but would explore it in myself maybe more than outside. Yeah.
Good, 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 good. So let's go to the leadership archetypes. If you have doubts or questions that came up with your practice or during the training that we were not able to clarify. So I will start by that, giving you space for questions, shares, doubts, anything that came up with this model, or if you feel like previous models. And let's see where this takes us. And then I also create a different ending today. And I think you will like it because in the other group it worked very well. So I will duplicate the strategy here. So
I have a question. I tried to use it on someone. She was actually a professional coach, and she was so in love with the tools, and she was very interested in. But how do we choose the compensatory leadership? For example, Ivy was always like choosing the compensatory ones when you have a complex of innocent. For example, in the role play we had, I was the innocent. And then he brought up the revolutionary card, which would help the innocent. How do we know which card will help which?
I will explain to you. Avi usually says what is the connection between one archetype and another. My experience says that it's not so linear, even if I understand the compensatory function. So I will tell you how I do it and how it's been working for me, and I see it in 2 different ways. The first way is you need to compensate inside of the domain. Like if, for instance, the person is on the emotional domain, and he has the lover, the trickster, and every person probably she's strong and she has one of these archetypes developed, one or more than one, but there's one that is not so developed, and that one is the one we need to work to compensatory function on that domain. Okay. And then you have the same structure on the all corporate model, like maybe she has one archetype that is strength and developed and or is weak and not developed, sorry, and we need to find the compensatory function. On that case, it could be usually is on the one of the domains nearby. For instance, let me show you an example. Yeah. So let's see the revolutionary here. That is on, it was the first one that came up. It was here on my. So usually you need to know very well the cards because, for instance, here it says, my shadow is, I will not keep my mouth shut. I do not get along with convention people. I do not learn from the past mistakes. I do not stick to established practice. So this is what I need to compensate. And if we go in the same domain, we have the hero that says, I get things done. I create clear goals and outcomes. I motivate people to work hard. I coaching the team on how to succeed. So maybe the hero can compensate the revolutionary. Okay, but you also have, just come here, 1 minute, this inside of the domain, and then you have for instance, the ruler. It could also compensate because it says fostering clear lines of authority, being a strong leader, deciding on other people's destiny. Okay, so it's not linear. You can do it with more than one archetype, but usually the compensatory function is made by what am I good at of an archetype that compensates the shadow of the other. Understand? So let's see another shadow like this one. Oh, this is the ruler again. Let me choose. Okay, so let's see. Let's work together here. Let's go to the shadow of the lover. It says, I do not separate the personal from the professional. I do not deal with conflict. I will never take an unpopular stand. It's hard for me to respect other people's right to privacy. What can compensate this one? You can go to the cards and see. Don't be shy if you have them. Which archetype can compensate this one?
My cards are not here.
Thinking of
You
every
have them?
person.
So
I'm thinking of every person, but I'm not sure.
every person, yes, you're sure, you're right. In the same domain, every person will work. I will read every person. Let me just organize my cards here. Where is every person? It says, I reward employees who try. I treat everyone equally. You say it's compensatory function in the same domain. But what about another domain?
Like rulers.
Yes, it could be, or maybe the caregiver. Look, I care out for others. I provide a warm and nurturing environment. So I do not deal with conflict. I provide a warm and nurturing environment. So it's not linear. We just try to see, and usually the images also are complementary. Like here, he's suffocating the person. Here, he's nurturing the person, the baby. You see, not the baby. Yeah, it's the baby. So I usually do like this because the secret is you need to know a little bit the content of the card so you can do that. Otherwise, it will always be like A to B, A to B, A to B, and sometimes it's not so, so rigid.
Yeah.
Did I answer, Eche, and make sense for you?
To me, yes, because I'm engineer, I'm always looking for very linear connections and logic with everything. So in Jungian coaching, I'm learning to think in a different way, which nothing is linear or no rules. So I'm using another part of my brain now. But
and also, let me give this extra information. Maybe it's helpful for you. What I usually do is, the question you bring is when I need to do compensatory function to an archetype. Okay, so inside of the domain, they should be the three archetypes should be developed, so I can use them according to the needs. But sometimes they're not. So inside of the domain is always to see which one is the strength, so we can empower and use the strengths to create solutions to the dilemma. And which one is weak, so we can also activate it and see in a different perspective the dilemma.
And also, sorry, please go on.
And then one question that the other group asked me is, so when do I use the shadow? So what do I do with the shadow? Do you know the answer? Because each archetype has values, has what am I good at, and has a shadow.
Sometimes the client's request would be like, I want to arrive to some state, and sometimes the request would be like, I have it too much, I want to like move from it. So if he wants to move from it, that would be more of a shadow work.
Yes. So in a practical way, what I understood from this tool is when we ask the client to give a number to I am good at 1 to 5. And I said, I am good at supporting employees' autonomy. And the client said, I am a 5. I'm super good on that. Everyone has his own space and they have space for decisions and for planning themselves. Okay. Discouraging conformist thinking. Well, no, that's good. I'm very good on that also. I'm a 6, not 0 to 5. I'm a 6. I'm super good. Minimizing bureaucracy. No, we don't. We are a very go with the flow company. We don't like papers. Procedures are very, I'm a 5. Thinking out new ideas and perspective all the time. We do once a week, we do 2 meetings just for that. So I'm very good on that. And now think with me. Which stage of HeroQuest could represent this when I'm like a 5 in everything and I super good on that?
Maybe go to a next task, like
but which stage of the HeroQuest could
yeah, I still
represent
didn't
this?
go through
Meeting
all of them.
success, like I'm meeting success with this archetype,
yeah.
correct? What happens when we meet success? What is the next stage?
Yeah. Fall into
Addiction.
the shadow.
Falling into the shadow. So this is part of the human's life. We are meeting success. So I'm 5 on everything. I'm making jackpot. I'm good. There's a huge probability that I follow into the shadow. And what's the shadow? I am not lead coordinate activities. So in my company, people start doing wherever they want and everyone works by their own. I don't like to be a team player. Why? Because I delegate and give so much autonomy that I don't want to be a team player. I hate to keep everyone informed. So I stop sharing information. I do not pay enough attention to staff to supervise them adequately. So when I'm in an extreme of an archetype, it seems like he's good, and he's good. But there's a huge probability that sooner or later I fall into the shadow. And that's where we need to work, as Anna said very well, with the shadow. There's too much of this.
When I look at the cards, I feel like all of that, not all of them, but like some things fit, but some things don't fit, or depending on the dilemma, one card might
Yes,
fit,
yes.
another
We need always to adequate to the dilemma.
Okay.
And also the wholeness corporate is not only for corporate. I think you understand that in the training, like it's for individuals also. I can do it like from my role as a mom. Am I teaching? Am I learning to be a mom? Am I nurturing my child? Am I getting the results I want with the education I'm giving? I can do it as a person because we all have emotions and deal with people. We all learn things and need to increase our knowledge. We all have goals and want to reach them, and we all want stabilizing our life. So we just need to reframe the content and make it precise for the goal of the client. Yeah, that's true. So Jungian coaching skills, mainly skill is flexibility to adapt to the cards. Good question, Ashley. Thank you. What else?
Honestly, like I have no questions regarding this module, but I'm really interested when we can receive the alchemical cards because I was so fascinated by this webinar, and I think it's
Your question is my question. I already texted Nina and I said, can I translate them to Portuguese and she said, we didn't finish yet. So we only have cards for Mortificatio, Solutio, and Connuntio. So Avi is finishing for the other alchemical process, and I believe in the end we will receive them. Finally, yeah. Who was on the presentation? It was beautiful.
I have a question to everyone, and maybe you can share with me, all of you, your professional experiences. Sometimes when I coach a person, I feel like they are, okay, that's not me to judge them, of course, but they don't go deep. They are like fooling themselves a little bit. They just say, be patient, everything will be fine. And like, I'm like, come on, you have to do more than that. It's not like you can just tell yourself it will be okay and pay me, I don't know, 100 euro an hour for that. Like, and I'm feeling like I have to challenge them more, to go deeper, to reflect more. And but some people say it's not the job of the coach, it's the person. If it's not going there, it's not your responsibility, really. I don't know how you feel. Do you also have moments that you feel your client is just like very optimist and telling everything will be okay, but really not going deep into their problem?
I've had this similar question for like the part of the challenging. I'm also interested, like because when I was reading I think it was ICF, it was like, okay, you have to push a little bit to get that aha moment from the client, but what if it's not going, as Eche said, like what if it's just like a flow? Is it okay just to let it be that way, or do we have to do something?
So you are waiting for my answer. Huge responsibility. Nobody wants to collaborate, so I was listening, and the first question that came up to me is, how do I know that he's not going deep?
Yeah, that's another thing, but
because I already had the experience that I had the feeling that the things were superficial, and when we are doing the closure, the insights are huge. So I think that's the first thing. We need to be careful to be in the client's experience and not our perception of the experience. So how can we do that? After the dialogue or before we go to homework, we can explore that. Like, so how was for you? What main insights or reflections did you take? How are you feeling? So we need to check before we judge. Okay? So this is the first thing. Yes, Cynthia?
I check with my...
How deep do you feel you went in this dialogue, and how honest do you think you were in with yourself, right, from 1 to 5?
Yeah. And also this is a nice question. And also as coach, we can share with the client our perception, asking permission. Like, I already did it. I have a client that I truly understood that she was not doing and saying what was supposed. So I asked her, I said, can I share with you what I'm feeling and seeing? And she said, yes. So I'm feeling that you are not telling everything to yourself, not to me, because I don't need anything. I think that you are not allowing yourself to express everything you feel like. And she started crying, so sometimes we need to be a little bit like politely but confrontative. So we give awareness, like our main goals as a coach is to improve awareness on the person. And sometimes they are in automatic pilot. They are not having awareness of anything. And also give them options, like different ways to work on the topic, okay? Let's just listen to Cynthia. She was starting talking, and then we go to Marta, okay?
Thank you. Okay, so I had this client who was so cognitive. I knew there was no aha moment, because for me, she's finally said during the awareness, she said, oh, I've already thought about these things that I said. And so like, okay. And I knew she was very cognitive about it. Like she reads a lot of self-help books, so that's what she was like talking about. And I said, it's okay. We could go deeper. This is your first time. It can go deeper in the future. So I'm thinking I will not let her talk, but let her draw or something, do something else, or not talking because she's so used to talking. She speaks in front of everyone. So I think that's her persona, that how she has to project. And so I explained to her also about um, there is no need to put a facade in front of me because there's no judgment in a coaching session. So I kind of, and so I will see what happens in our next one after 2 weeks from now. Yeah. But I've
Okay.
decided I'm not going to do the cards for now. I'm going to do the image, or I'll ask her to mold something, or prepare some art thing.
For example, I coached someone and he was gonna start a new business and he was like, should I actually do something or just leave it to time and go with the flow? And at the end of the session, he decided he will just go with the flow. And maybe that's what he needs, but for me, it sounded like
Did I share with you in this group one coaching session that I did as a client, and that my coach was confronting me because my homework was to cut my hair? Did I share with you? It's a great example. So I hired a very known coach in Portugal because I was like stuck in a place before Jungian coaching. I was stuck and I was not able to do it by my own. So I said, okay, I need help. I searched. I found a person that I realized it was good. She was from Lisbon, like 300 kilometers from here. So I take my car. I went there, and we did a 2-hour session, like with NLP and things and so on. And I talk a lot and I reflect a lot. And in the end, she said, so how was it? And I think it was really powerful for me. I think I get what I need. So, and what are you going to do? Is I'm going to cut my hair. And she looked at me and she said, you what? I'm going to cut my hair. And she said, are you joking with me? And I was thinking, what the hell of coach is this? And I said, no, I'm not joking. That's what I'm feeling to do. I feel like cutting my hair. And she said, so after these 2 hours of powerful tools, that's the only thing you are going to do? Do you think that's enough? So you're judging my decision. And I said, I'm okay with this. For me, it's enough. Because cutting my hair for me was kind of a practical way to express the transformation I had in my thought. So it was huge work for me, also because I love my hair. So it's like an act of self-trust, self-confidence. It was huge for me. And she was questioning my cutting my hair. So what I did, I arrived to Porto next day. I cut my hair like from here to here.
Wow.
Thought.
That's a big.
And I sent her a picture and I said, this is what I need. And she answered me, sorry for thinking it was not enough. I see the difference. So this is the challenge of coaching, is the projection is natural. We always go like, okay, 2 hours of work and she's going to cut her hair. I was expecting like she jump on parachutes or something like that, so don't have expectations of what is the dimension of the transformation on the other person, because it's about the world of the client, not us. Okay, so for me, it was something. And I have lots of examples like this. I have a client that I work a lot of time with her. She was really challenging client. And last week she came with the stuff of, what was the question? She is like animus possessed, Everything on her is animus, 10 times more than me. So you can imagine her. Like she walks like this with the purse like this. Everything is mechanic on her.
Oh.
So she arrived not with this language, but what she was asking is to start making a compensatory function with the animals and develop this feminine principle. So what I did, it was like very intuitive. I bring them the table of being cards with the words and the tasks, you know, and I said, look to these words and pick 6 that you believe will help you to empower your feminine. So she looked to the keywords and she should 6, I don't remember which one, but like intuition, creativity, and so on. And then I said, okay, so now we are going to make a quick dialogue with all of them, like kind of a orchestra. And I create the paper, so she will like talking randomly with all of them. And also after each dialogue, she creates kind of a code, a mantra that will be her message to remind that principle. Like for instance, creativity, like you have the ability to create new ideas and solutions for every challenge that appears in your life. Okay, things like that. So she takes 6 mantras that she needs to read every day. That was the task. But in the end, she came to me and she said, you know, I think I know what I can do that will help me a lot. It's okay, so what is it? I need to read a spiritual book. I was thinking, okay, and you know what book it is? I said, no, I don't know, but I will find it and I will read it because I don't read for a long time. Reading for her was the calling of being with herself. You know, like reading is cognitive, and the spiritual part was the compensatory function of the materialistic. So I said, okay, let's see what happens. So she sent me a picture of a book that I also bought. It is like 365 tips for spirituality. She read it in 3 days. And she was crazy with that. And you said, okay, someone gets crazy by reading a book in 3 days. For her, is a huge conquer. She's not reading, she reads about spirituality. So you see the dimension of this? So anyway, Anna Sabrayana said something very relevant is, let's shake I like to do ending questions like, how the insight or how the reflection you take from this session can add profit to your life. And that could be the aha moment when the person said, I'm not seeing any kind of impact. So what happened here? What could work better in the next session? And person can say, I can give myself more. It's great. And this is huge. Or you can also say, if the person said, oh, I have a huge insight, or I have a nice insight, I think I can do this or that, and you think it's soft, you can ask how this can also affect positively the other areas of your life. So you try to make him see the dimension of the change and the impact of the change. Or you just ask directly, 1 to 5, how much did you give from yourself on this dialogue, on this session? Be honest with you. 3, what is behind that? What is blocking you to be a 5? What can help you to be a 5? What can we do different in the next session so you can be a 5? But don't neglect clients. Other thing that you can do, I'm reminding because Avi did that with me on the demo of last Tuesday, is like I was talking with painting, and the card was engage with painting. Okay, so maybe the verbs we use to work something symbolically can be powerful, because when he said engage with painting, I start looking to painting in a different perspective. The word engaging doesn't allow me to have this like tennis dialogue, like I'm in. Okay.
I realized that moment. Yeah.
For me, it was powerful. So
yeah, I think it was very powerful.
Yeah, maybe that can also help if we are thinking the client is not in a deep level. Try to find a verb that connect him deeply. Okay. or just give awareness in the end, like during the dialogue or during the exercise. My feeling was that you were doing it superficially. Am I correct? And the person can say yes or no, and just trust the process. Because the opposite can happen. In the previous group, Maureen come and said, I have a client that just, I think she entered in an outer state. She went so deep that she was in an outer state. And I said, how do you know that? And she said, because when I giving her back some keywords and things that she said, she was telling, did I say that? So she went too deep. That is also something that we need to be able to deal with. So this is the world of coaching. We never know.
Yeah.
And so when the client is in an altered state, so I think I experienced a little bit of that when I had my breakout room with Tinka. So I was saying something, and when Tinka said repeat it 3 times, I couldn't remember what I was saying. And so it kind of also distracted me. And like, what did I say? And then so Tinka said, oh, this is what you said. I said, okay. And I didn't know if I went back again to that level. So sometimes that repeat 3 times kind of
Yes, bring you
distracts you
to
too.
here and now. And
Yeah.
even if the main goal of the repeated 3 times is integration,
Uh-huh.
the fact that you do it, it helps a lot the person to not just stay tuned, to stay tuned. And also, if it happens, because it can happen, the idea is bring the client to the here and now through the body. Like, okay, breathe deeply 2 or 3 times, stay connected with your breath, start feeling your body, yeah, your back on the chair, move you slowly your hands, like not making him like, ta-da, here we are again, let's become humans. So make kind of a coming back
Transition.
through the body and the breathing. It helps a lot the person to connect with the physical again, with the physic.
That's a very good question, Cynthia, because I also feel like this 3 times repeating, when it's too much, it's very distracting. And also sometimes I'm really going into a deep discussion and then somebody tells me repeat it 3 times and I'm like, I was going very deep there and now I don't remember where I am left. Actually, with Martha, we had that a lot and we decided that we will not ask that too
Yeah,
often.
I remember.
Yeah, and I also did a couple of times, wrote it myself instead of interrupting them. And at the end of the session, I sometimes summarized them, their dialogue, and they didn't even remember anything. They're like, did I say that? And like, yeah, that's like you made those conclusions, and they were very happy to hear it back, a summary from me. I don't know if it's correct or not, but
Very interesting. I don't know even if it's correct or not, but according with the methodology, you should do it during the dialogue, not in the end. Also,
What do you mean?
yeah,
I think when we dive too deep into the unconscious, and as you said, like we cannot remember the words that we said, what does it mean? It doesn't reach the level of ego. It stays in the unconscious. And when you bring the attention of the client to repeat it 3 times, this is what you said.
you do the ego
How
self-practice.
to build this transcendent lift. This is how you put it to the level of the ego. And in the case when you write it down yourself and at the end, like feeding it to the client, he can be really resentful. Like it doesn't already sound like something he said. So it creates
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not being like justified, like not being taken.
How do I manage that? And I don't know if you do it. Like every time I do a dialogue, even if it's with a client that is usual, I remind him that sometimes what he's saying is so relevant that I will ask him to repeat it 3 times. So in order to be not uncomfortable, and he knows that it's part of the procedure. So I always say that. And also, I think that is the practice that will give you that. I don't do it so often, like I'm pretty, I need to be accurate to understand which is really relevant for that person to repeat in order to the topic. Okay, so I try to understand like which sentence codes or words the person is saying that could add value to the topic that we are working. And it could be, sometimes I do it twice in a whole dialogue, but I know that those 2 repetitions will make the shift. But this is practice. This is something that with time because sometimes we feel like, oh, this is important, let's repeat. But is it important to the topic? Everything we said is important, even if it's a shit, because it's ourselves talking, so it's important. Okay, you need to consider, but with the topic, try to make it precise with the topic.
I had a client. This was a very interesting session. We were working with like a taboo or sensitive topic. So it was his like sexual values or preferences. And what I realized in that session is like the image that was from module 1 about the hierarchy, the levels of the psyche, because it felt like first he was talking a lot with his self. It was very like I would say pure. It was, he was looking for a sacred connection and so on. And then at the end of the session, when we were going to like, it was wrapping up, then it felt like, then he like finished up with asking a question like, but is it okay for me to have casual sex with women? And then he switched himself and like, yes, you can do that. And I was like, whoa, then it felt like the shadow came up. So then I was also thinking to myself, it's really important to like for, in that sense, it didn't feel right for me to say like, repeat that 3 times. But for him, it was like, yeah, okay, you see it. So I can have both my like sacred view and sex and also have the casual view. Aha, okay. And I was like, this was very interesting. So like, how would you handle like that type of case?
During the dialogue?
No, like after, like in the dialogue. So as I mentioned first, it felt like he was talking with his self, and then
I will explore to him the meaning of that for him, because we are talking about values, and his values are different from mine. So I need to be protected by my own values. I will like, it's very easy for me to maybe judge that, especially because I'm a woman. Like casual sex, I don't agree with that. But I need to explore the meaning for the client. So what is the meaning of this for you? How can it contribute?
Yeah, but for me, I really felt that like I'm not judgmental in that, but what I felt is like the energy, like his face shifted. Like I can totally like.
Did you give it back? That you see?
Sorry.
Did you give it back? Did you give?
No,
like,
I didn't there because I didn't
so
really
maybe
know
you
how
can
to
do
handle
that.
it.
Like
Yeah.
I understand when you said this, it happened that. What does it mean for you? You remember that everything that gives awareness to the client is powerful. You will say, did I? So this is aha moment and insight.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you? Why did you think, what is behind this shift? But Anna was going to say something.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe also to ask him how would you call this part that was talking right now? Or maybe a dialogue between this part and the self, and how would they communicate between each other? Like what's the common ground here?
Yeah, that is a good one.
Because maybe
that's a good
like
one,
his shadow protector from the guilt wherever that tries to normalize stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. This is delicate stuff because it's related with values and culture. Like maybe it's not even a shadow for him, you know, like if he really assumes that that's what he wants and the reality he wants to live. Like shadow is when we feel it is an inferior function of us and we are not able to deal with it. And that moment he was dealing with it in some way. So I'm not sure, but we can also explore like questioning, making questions. Yeah, how do you feel with that, talking about that? But what Anna said is very interesting. And if you allow me, I will share something that I did in my Portuguese certification. We are in EuroQuest. Anyway, as Avi used to do like the letter. Do you remember? We do a letter in Model 3 and then we do a letter in Model 4. And I believe that we are here to teach different things. I didn't ask permission, but I changed the task of Model 4 in the end, and I try something new. Also, I'm in my laboratory. So what did I ask? In the end, I said to them, okay, so close your eyes and see the hero on you. Like a moment where you were a hero, and just see it and feel it and see everything that is part of the hero on yourself. And now go around, turn around, and find an object that represents the hero on you and bring it. So they went to search the object, and they bring the object. And when they arrive with the object, I said to them, okay, so now become the object and speak through the object, giving yourself the tips to connect with the hero every time you lost it. Present yourself and tell him how they can connect, how you can connect with him. So it was, first of all, it was amazing what they bring as symbols. They are 5. So one bring a matryoshka, the other bring a beaking, the other bring a music box, the other, what else? The music box. One, it was a lotus image. I'm missing one. Oh, I don't know the name. Is one object that makes like you do like this and makes like a
Wind chime?
a sound, like a water sound or something. It's very like soft, and she called it I'm the melody. So it was very interesting because all of this that is nothing related represent heroes from themselves, and when they present with lots of value, like almost precise what to do to become that. So maybe you can also do that. That was Anna said, like anything that is very relevant and precise, not working it as a cognitive level, in a cognitive level, just bring something that represents that symbolically. It will help. Yeah. The Matryoshka one was beautiful. It's amazing. Like she said, okay, I'm the hero, but I'm covered by my persona. And then she take a, like, and then and now you look to me and I seem smaller, but you don't understand that I'm stronger. And she take another one. So it was so beautiful. Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had an interesting experience this week on a session. We were working with requests regarding procrastination, and somehow the topic of energy came out. And so I suggested to talk with the energy. And at first it seemed like the client, she couldn't speak with the energy. She was like, no, what I'm doing, this is silly, like this is that. This is something like ephemeral, like this is nothing. I cannot talk with something non-existent. And at first I was thinking, okay, this is like fail. Like she cannot even dialogue with it. But then I thought, this is how she treats her energy, as something non-existent, something like unapproachable, like something that she ignores and like just wherever. That was really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very nice.
Did she start talking to it afterwards? Did you mirror it to her, or?
For her, she started, but like she felt really uncomfortable in her body, like when she started sitting on a place of energy. It's like something that maybe unusual for her. Like
Yeah.
it was powerful and insightful, but I was worried even a bit. I think we like went to the place of trauma a bit with this approaching of the energy. So we'll see.
Yeah. On those cases, maybe it's nice to start with something that don't associate the client with it, like first step in between, like creating a draw of what it means, or create something external, the person, and start the dialogue between me and the object, like as a first thing.
Can represent the energy for her. She's like, nothing. It's non-existent. It's something like that cannot be represented. It's like speaking to God. Like you cannot put a symbol of it. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, God is a symbol.
Some people, but for another,
Yeah,
like
for some people, yes.
symbolized, like symbolical function is not developed, so uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. But that's very interesting. And sometimes everything we trust, if we trust the process, everything will serve the client, even if the topic of the session is not we don't reach the goal of the session. Maybe we have insights that allow us to do it in the next one. But once more, for us as a coach, is very relevant the two main questions on the head of the fish, like what is the topic, precise topic we want to work today, and what do you want to get if the session will succeed in the end, and make sure that you can give that to the client, because if you ask $1 million, it will not work, except you just play on the roulette and it works. But you know, like, be precise that what the client expects is possible for 1 hour session. And then this is your guideline for all the process, connecting with that, like how is this lack of connection with the energy related with the topic. So we are always bringing the client to make these mental connections that probably he will never do by his own. And if there's an insight, there's a progress. Always. Yeah. I think I would love to be coached by Anna.
Agree.
I was, and it was so powerful.
Yeah. True.
It really changed something in my life, really. Thank you, Anna.
You're lucky.
I was very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. You bring great questions. Yeah, and are very practical. That's relevant. Shannon, wake up. Good morning. Say something to us. Bring us
Good
questions.
morning. Yeah, I know. I feel like my brain is not turned on because I'm like, I know I have questions. Something that just came up when you were talking about the two questions at the beginning of the session. What is your dilemma? That seems easy enough. But getting the client to have a concrete expectation for the end of the session. Do you ever help, like, coach that as they're trying to figure out, like, I don't know, what can I do in an hour, or how can I progress on this dilemma in an hour? Or what am I really looking for?
Shannon, do you have a dilemma? A problem, a challenge, or anything that you would like to work on?
Yes, actually, I do.
Can you tell me what it is?
So I'm listening to all my classmates here, and they're talking about all their clients. And I realized that I'm scared, I'm nervous about getting clients. So I haven't really asked people to be my client.
Okay, so you want me to be your client?
Do you have something that you...
Yeah, but if I heard you well, so there's a feeling of fear and inaction because of the practice of Jungian coaching. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to get on this coaching process? What would be nice for you to take?
To feel confident in asking people to be my client.
Okay, so increase your confidence to ask people to be your client, which will be your main goal. Okay. As we are starting now, and this is the first session, what would be nice for you to have in the end of this session? Something that you believe that could be reachable in 1 hour session, if it succeeds.
Find out what the fear, like why I'm afraid or why I'm not taking action.
Okay, so if in the end of this session you are aware of what is making feel fear and not taking action, or at least more aware that you are now, that will be good.
Yes.
0 to 5, how much aware are you about that fear?
Probably a 3.
Okay, so if you are a 4 or a 5, it will be good.
Yes.
So I have a scale to measure, I have a goal for the session, and I have a main goal for the process coaching.
Mhm.
And the end, I can realize, I just need to ask again. So 0 to 5, how much aware are you now about your fear? If she said a 2, not good.
Mhm. Right.
But that will not happen at all. The most that can happen is still in a 3.
Mhm.
But if she says a 4 or 3.5 or a 5, it's good, okay? Because there was a progress, and that's what coaching do, is small progress between sessions. Okay.
Yeah. Do you ever have a client though that is like, I don't know what I can do, or I don't.
That in the end,
Yeah. So like at where I was like, well, if I knew more about my fear, I would think that this was successful. What if somebody's like, I don't know how I would know.
in the beginning, when you start, like in the discovery session, it's supposed the client to bring the goals for the
Mhm.
process. At least I do it all the time. I start by in the first session, I will try to understand what the client wants to reach. And I have this question that works very well, not only in the first session, but in any session they are stuck. Like, if you already were aware of your fear, what
Mhm.
will be different? What will change? So I
Yeah.
put it on the result instead of asking about the present. I take it to the future and ask about the result. So maybe we can take something from that.
Okay.
And otherwise, like in last option, we can give tips, like you want to understand your fear. So this is huge. Let's create small sentence that made this big goal of understand your fear. So what do you need in order to understand your fear? Oh, I need to understand the fear definition. Okay, so fear definition. This is a small goal that I can work. I need to become stronger. Okay, stronger is another goal. I can. So he will tell you, but you need to explore with questions, because different clients will tell you different things
Okay.
all the time.
Mhm. But you've never run into a situation where somebody's like, I don't know. Like they have a goal. They know they want to get a promotion, or they want a better relationship with their spouse. And it's like, okay, that's great overall coaching goal. But so for this session, what specifically about that do you want to work on in this next hour? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have clients that say that, but I still asking. So
Okay.
what will be nice for you to take from this first session?
Gotcha. Okay, that's better.
I want to feel more
Just what do you want?
in peace. Okay, good. But there's nothing related to the topic. But it's what he wants, so let's give him what he wants. I want to increase my awareness, but every time they give you something very abstract, like increase my awareness, understanding my fear, you need to create a scale so you can measure it. Because how do you scale, like I want to feel more confident? I ask, how much confident are you now? I need to have a comparison between the beginning and the end. A practical one. Or there's another question I love for measure is like, what are the evidence of being confident that you need to have? And the person will give, I will be able to talk with person X. Okay, so this is an evidence. So if in the end of the session you are able and with a plan to talk with Miss B, that will be a conquer. Yes, good. So in the end of the session, he knows, I'm going to say this and that and that. And he go and he said, and he texts you a message and he said, I did it. 10 points.
Good. Thanks.
Okay. Fantastic.
Nuria, do you do work with a lot of organizations or teams, or are you mostly one-on-one?
I do everything.
Of course you
I'm a
do.
doer. I'm a doer.
Yeah.
Yes, I also work with companies. I'm going next Monday. I'm going to Milestone. Do you know Milestone is international company, is a brand. It's very known. Yeah, I'm going to train the HR. Let's see.
And on what will you train them?
Sorry?
On what will you train the HR?
How much?
On
Monday.
what topic?
What topic?
Uh-huh.
Symbolic thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, like how to train the team through symbolic thinking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because they want different techniques to approach they do lots of trainings, they do lots of traditional training, and they want to be creative. So I propose, I didn't call it Jungian coaching, okay, because I'm starting creating the field for Jungian coaching. People resist a lot to like archetype and things like that. So I need to create confidence with the topic. But I talk about symbolic thinking, and I talk about imagination and phototherapy. So I put like in different ways, but what I'm going to teach them is how to work the challenge of the company through symbolic thinking instead of the blah blah blah.
Using the tools we use in Jungian, or
I'm going to start by the basic also, because I want, now is when Anna said, look to the doing again, I want to sell more training. So I'm not going to give them all the gold. I'm just going to give them like the small gold. So they want more. I will work only with the toolbox of not coaching, Jungian coaching yet, but only the toolbox of symbols.
Nice.
I like the art box, the art kit. But
The
it's Jungian
teaser.
anyway, okay? It's
Yeah.
Jungian anyway.
When you said not the blah blah thing, it was interesting for me because yesterday my company gave a training, and we have like a women network group, and we come together every other month or something to discuss women problems at work life, to network, connect a little bit. But the training for me they gave was more like how to be a better employee rather than really something connecting and touching us. So in the future, I want to change the content of those things and really like provide things to help women. So the topic was resilience, and then the HR was telling us how to be tough against change and be more resilient and accept all the changes of the company instead of really giving some personal support. I don't know. Yeah, so that's very interesting for me to know what you're doing to get
Yeah,
it.
in some way, like in a Jungian perspective, when we are talking, I was connecting a lot with the alchemy process, because like you are asking for some transformations, and like retirement is a huge transformation in our lives, and maybe we need to work with them, creating a a safe process to closure, a nice closure. In the previous group, Edlin said something like, I'm going to do, we want to do a training in our company, and the consulting team suggested we use the 4 elements, water, air, earth, and fire. And I automatically connect with the corporate owners, but I don't know how to do it, she said. And I asked, how many people? 25. Okay, so 25 is not easy to work because you only have a deck of cards and so on, but make the table bigger, like in a I don't know, in a sheet or something, make the table bigger, and put your team around and decide which domain they want to work on, like divided in 6 groups of 6, and each group is going to be a domain. It could be according with the main task they have, or just by intuition, okay? And then give them the archetypes of the domain they choose, and put them like reading the archetypes, creating brainstorms, and understanding which of them are active in the team and which of them are not developed and could support the growth of the team. And then you can do a demo with one of the persons or not. It depends of the time and of the structure of the workshop. But if you don't have time to do a demo, you need at least to create something that allow the people to become symbolic and to create a different perspective. So maybe you just ask them to become the archetype and share with the community of the team, like I am the hero, and my suggestion to us to go to the next level is, after exploring, and this is a soft dialogue in some way, like you are embodying and sharing in a perspective of the archetype. So maybe in your case, I think the domain should be the air, but it could be also the others, like which result I want to get, win-win result. Maybe you should work with I think the win-win is the revolutionary. No, let me see. There's one that works the win-win. I'm not. The magician. The magician is the win-win. So you could work with the magician. So you can create a win-win situation, and you can work with also every person. That will be nice. And maybe you can choose the one that you believe will help for each domain and make a similar exercise. Yeah. For instance. I'm thinking. My brain is unstoppable.
I will take a short call. I'm sorry, I will be back.
Okay. Now is the moment that I say, my clock is 11:11. Magical time.
Yes. To me, it's now 12:12.
It's also magical.
Yeah.
More questions? No?
Etche, you're muted.
She's talking on the phone,
You
I
didn't
think.
make questions, Anna. Marta, you didn't make questions today. You make so many questions all the time.
Yes, I do usually, but
now that you become a magician, you don't need anything. You
yes.
just create from,
Yes.
you bring everything from your head. You take everything you need, like,
yes. But I must share, I don't know, was it because of that particular module or whatever happened, or was it also because of the trip or something I had to Mexico? But I've been having like really busy time. Like I'm like from the morning to the evening, I'm like trying to operate with everything, but all the time I'm kind of like chill in the back. And I see, even though in times like these, usually when I have a lot to do, it's hard for me to find that peace of mind and to paint. And I'm working on this big exhibition, and it's important for me to make a lot of paintings and to really put myself into that. And I see that now I can do that at the same time. Like I do still have time to do that, and I have like clarity while doing all the other things. Okay, maybe I work a little bit over the top, so I skip some things, but I see that it's somehow like leveling up. So I don't know, maybe it's the magician or or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
win-win magician.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true. So I don't have questions since I didn't practice at all like this month, but when I kind of like balance the things I will start doing, and I'll hopefully make some questions.
Yeah. It's so nice to listen what you are saying, because um I think Jungian coaching has this effect of not in a not concrete way. It evokes transformation. I have a client. I don't know if it sounds good in English, but in Portuguese it's very funny that she said, "You know what I like the most on Jungian coaching is I'm growing up." And she's
Yeah,
like, she's 60, so I'm
yeah,
growing up. So it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. It feels like that. It feels exactly like that. So yeah.
I get out feeling that I'm growing up, and I said, okay.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I think maybe if you agree, I would like to make a not Jungian closure, but a coaching closure. Why? Because I'm thinking in a concrete way, we are finishing one journey of presential workshops, so there's one model left. But this is only in a concrete way, because in a non-concrete way, the door is open for anything and everything. So I did it in the other group and it worked very well. I will invite you to close the session with one question that you are offering the group, an open coaching session, a coaching question that you are offering the group to allow you to empower the Jungian coaching journey. For instance, like what I haven't done yet that if I do will help me to become a better Jungian coach, for instance. And the idea is to make it like a circle, so the one person being a question, the other answer, and give another question, the other answer, and you make kind of a circle until the end of the
Okay,
process.
that's cool.
So the question is,
So
sorry,
we
I
practice
did not get
questions.
it.
The idea is to make a question that you believe it will help the group, or the group and the person that will answer to empower themselves as a Jungian coach.
Okay, I have a question.
Mhm.
What is the asset you will mostly rely on? And what is the asset you have in you that will empower your sessions in coaching?
Okay.
Okay, Anna, I roll the ball to you.
I amazingly evolved symbolical thinking that sometimes even prevents me from having a usual normal life. I have a question, which inspired by Marta, by the way. Which artifact or symbol you can take from your dreams that will help you on your coaching journey? Eche.
I will answer that. Like, I don't know the game. I was in a call. But what's the
I don't know the game. The game is you answer and you give another question.
Okay, so you ask me what kind of dream materials we can use.
Artifact or just symbol you can take from your dreams that can help you to empower your journey as a Jungian coach.
Like, you mean in which kind of dreams?
Any of your dream.
So I give something like an example.
Yeah, like something that you can see can be a symbolical artifact that you saw in a dream.
Okay.
That can help you to empower your journey as a Jungian coach.
You know one. Uh, I actually recently had a dream which I woke up. I said has a meaning, but I don't remember now. I have a very bad one. I was raped in my dream from my brother. And sorry, like it's very weird, but and probably it has a meaning, but it was just I felt like I'm taking something too much in my life and I'm not saying no. And I was like, when I wake up, I was like, why don't I just say no to it? I cannot take it. That's the feeling it gave me, the dream. Sorry for giving such a weird example, but that was it was in my mind.
No is a great symbol by itself, like boundaries that can be taken to your Jungian work. But I also am thinking about such dreams, like sometimes we have fear in the dreams and we have like something that terrifies us. But if you're thinking about it symbolically, like the combination with your brother is like the alchemical conjuncture, you know, with your inner man. So if you're trying to like destillize it from the fear and from the horrifying, you know, bad feelings, it's actually a very powerful dream about conjuncture with your animus, like with your, you know, inner man.
I will think about that. And now I have to ask a question to someone. Like, the content can be anything of the question.
We are trying to make questions that can empower as Jungian coach.
Okay. Who didn't have question yet? Okay, Anna. Okay, Anna was first, so I will ask her. How do you distinguish when your client has a dilemma, which is like coaching session, or it's more existential and you cannot help?
That's a good one. I think when those things happen, I'm trying to use, what is it? Now I'm losing the word in English. When you have like this big, and then you try, what is the word? Do you see what I'm trying to, like,
Ways? No. A container?
yeah, you have like it's wide.
Big
It's like,
issue.
yeah, big issue and trying to make it smaller. So like
Anna, yes,
trying to make
distillize.
this, yeah.
The
What do you say, Anna?
yes.
Funnel.
Funnel, thank you. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to make the funnel smaller to see if like, okay, if this very big existential dilemma, if we can mold it into some smaller part.
Mm.
Trying to ask curious questions to come into like a smaller little problem or dilemma. So Cynthia, what can you do to trust the process more as a Jungian coach?
As a Jungian coach, how trust the process. You know, I try to be very logical about things. Trust the process. Usually before a session, I actually kind of like say to myself, like I just surrender to the process, and I surrender that it's not about me. It's in any of the modalities that I use, it's always like I start like, I surrender, this is not me, I'm just an instrument. And that's how I usually do it. But I was a volunteer coach on that Tuesday thing. I didn't know what I was getting into. Shannon was there. And then at the end of that whole thing, I was shivering and I was so cold. I was like ice cold. And something happened with my Wi-Fi that when I went back to the main room, I couldn't see 1/3, like 1/3 of the participants disappeared from the chat. So that's why I had to exit Zoom and go back in. I did not hear a lot of things at the end because, so even my computer turned cold after that. But the surrender practice worked for me a lot. It always reminds me that it's not about me. And so I think just knowing that it's not about me makes me trust the process and just let that process do its thing. But then at the end of the session, I actually texted Shannon because I think I know where I made some glitches, but then I kind of like my logical side now will step in at the end of the session. So Shannon, question for Shannon. I don't know what. So what can you do? So we're a big group in the whole class. Actually, this can be also for everyone too. Like, I don't know if it's me, but what can we do to as a group in this class, like to strengthen each other's practice, and like how do we come up? Like I've always worked with certain people only in the group. Like, how do we reach out to each other to support also each other after the class? Because right now we have mentoring. Nuria is putting us together, but when we go our separate ways. But it would be nice that once in a while we come back, and then come back. How do we do that? That's
Awesome question for me because Carolyn and I actually talked about this. Like we really like about the community. It is like a community and a family, and we keep getting asked to come back and act as mentors in like other generations. And so I think as we all evolve our practice, we're going to have these things come up like, oh, I had this client, or even, hey, I need some coaching, I need a Jungian coach to help me. And so we would love to work on a community, something that, we have a WhatsApp or something like a Slack or a Discord where we all, not just us, but every other generation is in there. And we can have maybe monthly meetings or even quarterly meetings where we all come together on Zoom and we talk about, we have some presentation about what's some new development in coaching. Somebody has something they'd like to present to the group, and then we have a discussion and then breakout rooms for networking and stuff like that. So we would love to do something like that. So I think if we all keep that on the forefront, it was something I was going to bring up to Avi after graduation. So I think that would be awesome. Yeah, because I know I'm going to need coaching for the rest of my life, and if I'm going to get a coach, I want it to be one of you.
Everyone did I think everyone did a question, right? Am I right?
Shannon has to ask a question.
I should ask Marta.
Oh, Marta didn't ask anything?
I did. She didn't answer. I didn't ask.
Didn't
so
answer.
I'm going to
Okay,
ask
go for
Marta
it.
a question.
Go for it.
Marta, what element of your shadow can become a strength in your coaching practice?
Ooh, I like that.
Spicy one.
What?
It's a spicy one.
Yeah, the first thing that came up to my mind was actually the only one tattoo I have here. It's a lightning. And as much as it is my light, it's like my shadow, I would say, like the worst one. And I always connect it to the creativity and to the like this act of being impulsive and strong, and sometimes it can push me into creating great things and doing having this power, but sometimes it can also with the same energy push me into like the I don't know, this sphere of mind and this sphere of darkness. So what was the question? What can I do with the shadow?
Right. So that's your shadow. What part of that can become an ally to you in your coaching practice?
Oh yeah, I think just like kind of like learning to write it, like to have this, not, I would not say control over the lightning, but I would say better off like learn how it moves and what are the ways where it strikes, so I can be more precise in like hovering it, in like managing it. So
Right.
like I can be prepared for what are the consequences, but I also can like strike really good, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to ride your lightning.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I think this is a beautiful way to end. As you saw, this is not Jungian at all. We just ask questions and answer them. However, I bring this because as a coach, we do questions. And sometimes a good question can start a good session. Like, which question would you like? I can ask my client, which question do you want to answer today? And he gives the question and he starts working on that. And lots of the things that you answer, even if they are cognitive, they are keywords there that can be a beautiful session. And this was a nice ending because Shannon bring a question related with the Jungian content. So this is also something that we have and we can use when the client is blocked, like Avi. I'm working with Avi once a week as a client, so you can understand. Sometimes he comes and I said, "What do you want to? What is dilemma today?" I don't have dilemma. I'm tired of dilemmas. And he said, "Okay, so," and it just brings something, like the cards of the psyche and just everything. Give me a dream. I don't have dreams. I don't remember my dreams. So sometimes I'm in resistance also because I'm human, and it just like go with the flow, and then something come up and he starts working with that, like, because we always have something.
Right. So I have a question for Anna Sabriana. Is that kind of what analysis is like? Like you have an Jungian analysis. You have an analysand, right? They come once a week or every other week, and sometimes they have something to bring, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah,
Or
it's
is it more structured? Like we're going to work on this today, and
not
then this.
structured at all. Like
Okay.
they start, if they say, "Oh, I have nothing to talk about," okay, you wanna like be in silence, that's up to you.
Okay.
Like you never give the direction in the analysis, you always follow the client.
Okay.
And trying then to connect the dots, to connect the content of the psyche, because sometimes the client brings something, okay, I have this, something from the past, something from the future, something from the current state, something between us, and you're trying to connect it all together like into one kind of picture.
You can also ask the client who you must be in order to get rid of therapy. So you have a lot of work there with the answer he gave.
Yeah.
Probably said, I need this and this and this and this.
But I must say, like, maybe it's also a question. I must say that I use sometimes the Jungian coaching tools within the therapy. Like, I started using these dialogues with different parts, and it really helps the clients to proceed. I was wondering, like, does it count for the coaching hours if I use, like, the tools of the coaching, but within therapy?
So the hours for ICF?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any session of coaching that you do with or without Jungian coaching tools can be used for.
Yeah, but like officially, like we are working within the therapeutical alliance, but I use sometimes the coaching tools, like
Yes, you can use them.
so I can write down these hours as well.
Yes.
She will hit 500 tomorrow.
Many hours.
Yes.
I told
Yes,
you
because
already.
you are not going to be evaluated by the content of the session. Instead, you just need to have this experience. So you can experience 1 hour tools, or you can experience 20 minutes tools, but it's experience anyway inside of the session. Yeah, you can count
So,
them.
Nuria, you're saying you're getting sessions from Avi, weekly sessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't now, how do you juggle? Because there's always like some sort of assignment, take home from each session. Like I had my last session like two weeks, 10 days ago, and I'm still processing even the assignment. So how can I do like
I don't
weekly?
have time to processing. I process everything in the session.
Oh,
to be
like so it
honest,
just keeps
like,
going into the shadow for the
like
next session.
Avi is working a lot with me in the feminine
With
principle and
school?
animals. Why? Because maybe what I need is not doing.
Ah, oh, okay.
You
Okay.
understand?
So it
So
depends too, right? Yeah.
I'm doing the reverse therapy, like not doing, just being. So we don't have tasks. My task is
Okay.
is the processing of the. Even if I sign, for instance, now to the painting class, I'm doing it because I want that to be my being moment.
Mm.
Okay, so doing something that allow me to be, not to make money and get clients and so on. Okay, so it's not working, it's being. Yeah.
Okay. Good insight.
By the way, one of the questions, and I'm working also with this with Avi. I'm trying to convince him to not, first of all, to create a unique group. And we have it in Facebook, but is not very active. Maybe if you join, it could start being more active. So we have all the community on the Facebook group. When people come and bring questions for clients and share things, so it's kind of a ongoing interactive group. I also told him that it will be nice to maybe, as the community is bigger, to create a mentoring session, but not mentoring for only one class, like for the whole community, monthly, like once a month or each 2 months. I don't know. We are working on that because I think now we have enough people to do that. And the idea is not only to do what we did here, but also, for instance, now he creates the alchemic cards. The ones that finish the trainings will not have access to that. So maybe it's nice in a mentoring session to update to everyone and we still align on the contacts. Otherwise, you will only be able to know them if you are doing assistance. The other thing is like there are topics that are not too much explored on the Jungian training because it's not part of the foundations. But for instance, that I'm learning and I'm trying to activate, and one of that is like the I Ching cards and lots of things like dream interpretation, symbolic thinking, meaning there's lots of things that we don't go deep that we can do it. Like, I don't know, understanding the meaning of a movie or a story, like bring a movie or a fairy tale and just elaborate on a Jungian perspective on that. So not only mentoring, but also stimulating the mindset of a Jungian coach, like, because we need to stimulate this. This is new language, this new approach of life. But Avi is more or less like me. He's running all the time everywhere. He was like 50 days, I don't know where, and he came and he gets sick and he's working this and that. So let's see if I can meet him in a peaceful way to elaborate on this, because I think it's time for creating something. I'm doing it in my local community for, I don't know, not with Jungian, but now I'm doing it with, I add Jungian on the mentoring, is the way also for us to stay in touch and to learn with each other. So we do like once a week, one hour here in Portugal for 6 years. And they don't get tired. I'm telling, like, go away, just create your own stuff. But it's very relevant for communities to have this glue, moment glue. I want to end.
Professional development too. I'm interested in like continuing professional development. So even if that's like, you know, a 4-hour course by one of our PCC
So
trained
my-
coaches that
yeah.
present on that, right? For
My
CCUs.
suggestion is also like in the last model, if I'm not wrong, and if Avi keeps doing it, he makes a questionnaire of closure or like evaluation of the program and so on. So put all your suggestions on the quiz, because he's very open to receive suggestions and ideas and elaborate on them. So bring them, and even if it's not in a questionnaire, just send an email with a testimonial of what are your expectations from now on. Because until now, the challenge for Avi is who is going to do that? I don't have time. And now he found the Nuria, so he's exploring me. So no, I'm joking, but yeah, now is not. It could be something that we do, like, I don't know, just put your ideas, and we are going to work on them for sure. Okay.
Love to facilitate something for dreams, like dream analysis group. I used to make them a lot in Russian. I don't have experience doing it in English, but I would like to gain it. It's challenging for me, but
Yeah. I would like to offer you something for finishing today. Is that okay for you? It's a story. It's a Sufi story, and I think it's nice. I will not tell the title of the. So the story is associated with a word, a keyword. So I will tell the keyword in the end. And the story says, a Sufi teaching story tells of a man who prayed continually for the awareness to succeed in life. Then one night he dreamed of, it's funny because it talks about dreams. He dreamed of going into the forest to attain understanding. The next morning he went into the woods and wandered for several hours looking for some sign that would provide answers. When he finally stopped to rest, he saw a fat fox with no legs lying between two rocks in a cool place. Curious as to how a legless fox could survive, he waited until sunset, when he observed a lion come and lay meat before the fox. Ah, I understand, the man thought. The secret to success in life is to trust that God will take care of all my needs. I don't need to provide for myself. All I have to do is totally surrender to my all-sustaining God. 2 weeks later, weakened and starving, the man had another dream. In it, he heard a voice saying, "You're a fool. Be like the lion, not like the fox." I love this story, and I want you to name it in one word. Which title will you give to this story?
one word.
Okay, one word, small sentence.
I would say like I have everything inside of me.
I have everything
Cat,
inside of me.
fox, lion, all of them
Yeah.
here.
So you have options.
Flexibility.
Yeah.
I would say balance.
Balance.
You need the doing and the being. You can't just be and you can't just do.
Doing, being, balance.
Mine's like almost similar to Shannon. The first thing I thought was like there's always two sides to the story. And then when I think about it, I say there are more sides to the story, but from the story it's just like two sides. Yeah.
There's always at least two sides of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say.
And I would say, after you make sure that you did everything in your control, leave it to the universe. Sometimes this letting go and like universe will help me think is confusing. People think that they don't have to do anything. But after you know you did every effort, then you have to trust the universe a little bit. And that's what I learned with a very young age. So the story tells that to me.
So trust both you and the universe.
Yes, but just doing nothing and expecting the universe to feed you is not working. But doing a lot and then also being super ambitious about, I want this, I want this, I want this, this is also not good. Sometimes things will not be like that, and you should just accept it. So I think, yeah, it's the balance.
As your background, try to bridge them in a healthy dynamic. Good.
Yeah,
Marta?
to me instantly came the word like fool or a joke. It's just like don't be like don't build constructs. Just like don't take life too seriously. Don't take it like as you think it is. So yeah.
Like in Jungian language, it could be learn how to be a healthy trickster.
Yeah. Yeah, be open like a trickster.
Be open like a trickster.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the word that came to mind for me was integration, like integrate all the parts. Mm.
This is in a book of stories that are associated with the image. So this is the image of the story. Can you see it? Okay. And the word is surrender.
Mm.
It's a very powerful word, and I like the story, and I want to give it for you as a ended gift for meditation during the weekend. Like, what do I need to surrender on? Maybe you just don't need to fight too much with some things that are taking our energy. So, and why not to have a dialogue with surrender?
Yes.
With us,
Thank
warrior.
you.
Thank you. I love these mornings.
Thank you, Nuria. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I really hope we find a way to keep in touch. Otherwise, I will miss you a lot.
Yes.
We're not letting you go.
We will
and
bother you a little bit.
yeah,
I like
if
Marta's
Avi
conviction.
don't go with anything, I will at least ask him permission to, like, each 2 months just create kind of a online seminar with everyone and do kind of I'm creating now something different that is 1 hour networking, like speed dating, you know, like I bring something or a symbol or image, and I put people in breakout rooms talking about it with answering a question. Okay. Because you are in your comfort zone in this group, but we have other groups, and it's such a beautiful community that I sometimes think is sad that we are not ownness and entanglement with all the potential we have individually and make it stronger as a whole. I'm working on that.
Thank you, Nuria.
Nice. Thank you, Nuria.
Thank you so much. Have a nice Easter also.
Yeah, you
as well.
What?
Nuria, do not forget being on that and resting on that as well.
Yes.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you
Yes.
need help doing something, let us know. Maybe somebody can help you do so you can do more being.
Yeah.
Oh, but
that's
this
a
is
good
being time for me. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just getting pleasure here talking with you.
Okay.
This is, if I could do this for the rest of my life, I will be very happy. Because here I'm not even thinking about if I'm getting money or not, or it's not a need, it's a want. You know, I want to be here. It fulfills
You want
me.
to end the recording?
No, this is part
It's
of
okay.
the process, but yes. So thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you soon, not so soon after Easter, if I'm correct. So have a nice Easter.
You as
you
well.
too. And take care, everyone.